Hey everyone, it's Nettrea Robinson, the prepared agent, and today I have an incredible guest with me today. His name is Johnnie Hamilton, and Johnnie is going to talk to us today and educate and prepare us for VA loans. And he also does other loans, but the purpose of this today is VA loans. How are you, Johnnie?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to kind of talk about a subject matter that's really near and dear to my heart. Not only am I a experienced loan officer, I've been in the industry for about 18 years, but I'm also a veteran. And it was honestly my efforts at understanding my own benefits and entitlements that I came across, just how tough it's been or how tough it is for veterans. There's a lot of programs, there's a lot of information out there that just isn't getting out to them. And so that's why you hear all these horror stories about how, veterans just don't know what's available to them or, how to get more information. So our goal as an organization, Veterans Mortgage Source, is to try and be that entity that can provide some information on those, especially primarily on their home loan benefit. But as we grow and as we build our base, we're identifying other resources that would be available to veterans as well.
Absolutely. Well, when we first met, you gave a lot of incredible and amazing information that I did not know to be able to help and share that with other people who are VA qualified. And thank you for your service, by the way. Thank you so much for your service.
I appreciate
But so one of the things that I thought was incredible that I had no knowledge of, and I'm so excited for you to be able to share this with us today, is you were talking about the statistics here in Arizona about people that use the use VA loans. So can you kind of share a little bit about that for me, the stats?
100%. I think one of the things that, and we take it for granted because I'm in the industry.
Yes.
And I hear these things and I see these things. But one of the areas that is probably most surprising is that there's an estimated third of veterans, that's total nationwide, that aren't even, that are not even aware of their home loan benefit, what it represents, what all you can do with it. And of the total number of veterans throughout the US, literally 13%, and that's right, only 13% are actually using their VA home loan benefit.
I was so shocked when you said that. I was like, what? What, maybe give an example of, why a person wouldn't think that they would be eligible?
It's just misinformation, and it's unfortunate. Like I said, when I was in the military, there were a couple of huge benefit programs that weren't really explained to us that were available to us once we became civilians. One being the GI Bill. It's gone through 3 different metamorphosis changes, if you will, over the past. It used to be that you had to sign up for it when you first signed up. Then other ones, as we went through the Gulf War, a lot of veterans were given that benefit as, kind of a gift, if you will, for having participated in the war. And so it went through changes. Well, the same thing for the VA home loan benefit. Unfortunately, there's just not a indoctrination period that addresses all these benefits before or really good after. You have some discussions as you are departing the military, but I got to tell you, it's really from the 30,000 foot view, and it really doesn't dive in and explain. I think I had mentioned to you one time that I had a young man that I was speaking to on the phone. He is actually a real estate agent, recent, new, and we were talking about the VA home loan, and he said, I thought I had to use it within the first 2 years after I got out of the military. And I went, oh, no, my friend.
Absolutely. Get all the benefits.
Exactly. Or it's that kind of misinformation, that's out there, or that, you use it once and it's used up and it's done. And only one person in the family can use it. And and just the list goes on.
Absolutely.
And that even extends over to, what realtors think about it. It's an unfortunate reality that giving some difficult times or difficult or lending transactions with the purchase of a home, a lot of realtors just, they have a bad taste in their mouth from their last experience, and that's what their memory is. So that's what they tell the next agent. And
Absolutely.
so on until, it just gets to the point where it's in some instances a pariah. People are afraid of it. I had a loan that I was doing. I'm working with a client right now, and they put an offer in on a house, and the realtor came back, the selling agent came back and said, "Oh, any loan but a VA loan." I
Wow.
was shocked, first and foremost, how you can
Yes.
dictate how a person's going to pay for it. But then secondly, that they have such a bad vision of how VA loans work that they're not even willing to consider it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? It's education, right? It's really about education.
It
And I'm
can.
glad that you mentioned that because I kind of want to steer into the actual VA loan itself and talk about some of the things I was really blown away also by the fact of such things as like reno loans
Yes.
and for VA. I was like, what? And how come these are things that are not also talked about, right? So can you elaborate on those different types of loans that are out there and refis out
Certainly.
there for VAs, veterans?
Okay. Certainly. Let's see. If we just want to go first and foremost, what loans are available to veterans?
Yes.
Okay. You have your purchase, which again, no money down, and it covers 100%. And why is it special? Because the government guarantees it.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about guaranteeing it, when you talk that entitlement amount, $36,000, something like that, that is the basically the 80% or what have you. It's covering the guaranteed amount of that loan so that if it does go into foreclosure, the lender or the investor does not lose their investment.
Right.
Now, so you've got your purchase, you've got your refinance, and the refinance is both cash out and rate and term. The rate and term is what we call the IRRL. And that particular one is just, it's a rate and term refinance. It doesn't require qualification as long as payments are on time. That means we don't have to requalify with income, work history. It's payment on time, boom, you qualify.
Wow.
The
Okay.
other one we talked about was both renovation and construction loans. And
Yes.
that can include a manufactured home.
Did
Now,
you
the
hear?
renovation
Wait.
loan,
Did you guys hear that? That includes manufactured homes for
exactly.
VA. Okay. So go ahead.
Okay. So the construction loan, it's standard amongst the industry. It works just like everybody else's other loan programs, construction loans. But we also have an investor that has extended to us the one-time close. That's a big deal because you don't have to requalify. Traditionally, construction loans, you have your loan for the construction portion, and then about 30 to 60 days when it's close to completion, then you go and you requalify for your extended term or for the final terms of your loan.
Right.
Well, the VA offers a one-time close.
That is beautiful.
So you qualify at the beginning and you're done. So 30, 60 days out, you lock your rate to the extended time. Perfect. It's beautiful loan.
Yes.
Renovation loan. This one is, again, we talk about those type of programs that are near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
Renovation loan. Essentially, it's two options. You can cover the cost of repairs at the front end when you purchase the loan. Purchase the home. It's essentially included in the purchase of that home.
Yes.
So, for example, I'm buying a house that's $200,000. It's the worst house in the best neighborhood. All the other homes are $400,000. So I can take, and if I need $100,000 worth of work to bring that property up to the level of the other properties, your comparable properties in that community, I can do so all at the front end. So I qualify, just like any other loan, for $300,000. When we come to closing, $200,000 is paid to the seller, and $100,000 goes into an escrow account for to be paid out in draws, just like you would any other type of loan where you're having construction done. So they get to a certain amount. Now, there's a couple of nuances with that. If
Okay.
the amount of work that's being done exceeds $35,000, you have to have a HUD consultant.
Okay.
Trust me, it's the best $500-600 you'll ever pay. Because what that HUD consultant does is they verify that the materials being purchased are at market rate and not
Absolutely.
stepped on and increased. And for the work done, they verify that the work being done is at market rate, not stepped on above and beyond. They also make sure that when work is completed to a certain level, that you get all of your sign-offs. The completion to that point has been verified as being done and properly. And they also confirm that all warranties are in place. They
So basically,
also,
it's protecting you.
and that's a big deal because the VA wants this to protect. I mean, this is a benefit to our vets.
Absolutely.
It's just like, when you hear people complain about VA loans having strict appraisal guidelines, it's simply not true. They're just making sure that veteran, when they go and they sign on that dotted line, their property is going to fall apart on them. It's an expectation of comfort, if you
Right.
will.
Right. The care,
So
and it's caring for the veteran. Absolutely.
absolutely, 100%. So when you get down to it, when it's all said and done and the work is done on that house, guess what? It's now worth $400,000. Now, the beauty of the loan is truly in the details. And the detail is the value of the home is not based on the purchase price.
Right.
Value of the home is based on as completed value. So when that bid and when the bid information goes over, the purchase contract information goes over, it's all then reviewed by your HUD consultant. And then once they give their blessing, that's forwarded over to the appraiser so that the appraiser can take that work into consideration when they're creating the value of the property. So you can truly see where if it's now brought up to the level of the other properties, that property's at 400,000, you paid 300. You've got
Absolutely. It's the
instant
value.
equity when you move in. If the property is habitable, meaning I can live in there while this stuff is being done, you can do so.
Oh, okay.
If not, then obviously you would find other shelter or what have you. But you can also build in the cost of payments, 3 to 6 months or whatever you need to get you through to the point,
The buffer.
where the property's done. Exactly. So, I mean, it works a lot like a construction loan. Now, the other side of that equation is you can do it as a refinance.
Yep, that's what I was going to ask about. Yep, refinance.
And guess what? Another big positive of that is it's not treated as a cash out refinance. It's treated as a rate and term. The difference is you've added this extra money to repair the house or update the house. Once again, I'm in this house. I've got a $200,000 existing loan on the property. I'm getting $100,000 worth of work done to it. My house is in a neighborhood where values are at 400,000. Again, I've paid off the existing loan. The 100,000 goes into escrow till the work is done, and now my property is worth 400,000.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's truly a win-win for everyone. Now we talk about that misinformation. Realtors don't know about that either. And the reason why some have had a bad experience, and because they had that bad experience, it was so difficult. I don't want to ever do anything like that.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that way. It's about who is doing the loan. It truly is. If you understand what the requirements are on the front end, and you know what's going to be needed, you can close a construction loan in 30 days, just like everybody else.
It's also about communication too. I think that that's important to stress for those that are actually looking at this or listening to it. I mean, realistically, when a realtor is working with a lender, it is really important that we communicate, right? It is important for us to be able to take that transaction, talk about what's going to happen. Hopefully we're talking earlier, when this is first panning out with the pre-qualification. And then educating and talking about this and negotiating and all throughout the process. Because I think a lot of times that is the case where we miss that opportunity because nobody's communicating, right? And so that stress level is there. But so I really appreciate you sharing that.
Well, and you've hit the nail on the head. That's one of the biggest, can be one of the biggest obstacles. And why is that miscommunication? Let's talk about some of those reasons just for a minute. The loan officer doesn't understand the program, so they can't communicate what they don't know.
Sure.
There's fear on their part because, again, they don't understand the program, and the third is, just a willingness to do that. I mean, let's be honest, real estate sometimes, as well as mortgage lending, sometimes gets commoditized. It's all about the numbers. How many loans can I get in, or how many deals can I close? Yes. And that's one thing that I appreciate about my organization and why I chose Veterans Mortgage Sources, because we don't treat this as a numbers game. This is a passion from the owner, the gentleman who created the organization. Granted, we are an arm of our parent company is Celebrity Home Loans, but this division was set up specifically to address veterans. We can do all loans, trust me, because not everybody's going to fit in a VA loan. They're not. It's not 100% because it could be something income related. It could be something where credit score related. It could be any of a number of things, but not everybody fits in there. So, and usually the biggest thing would be income. Yes. Or the other one would be credit scores. Those would be two reasons why you could do a VA loan. So our company believes in value over volume, quality over quantity. They're not sitting there hounding me, how many loans have you closed? No, it's how many veterans have you helped? And I think that's an important difference right there. How many veterans have you helped? It's a big deal.
Now, I don't know if we can get into this, but I'm just going to ask, because you and I have had this conversation as well. As far as the perspective of when you're looking at, as a veteran, and you're looking at lenders, right, for VA. A lot of times you're talking about the stigma or the hurdles that we have in working and getting offers accepted for VA for veterans, right? Mm-hmm. But isn't it based upon the type of lender as well? Because there's like these things that you're talking about of these different loans and things like that. I hadn't heard of the renovation loans, right? But I guess it just depends on the actual lender, what they will or will not be willing to extend or offer. Is that right? I mean,
sure. Yeah, I mean, one of the areas that we talked about when we did our lunch and learn was we spoke about trying to think specifically why some lenders don't provide things that others do. And one of those areas is called investor overlays. An investor overlay is something that a broker or a correspondent lender will put on top of a particular loan program to set minimum or maximum standards. Okay. For example, when we talk about VA loans, credit score, a lot of lenders won't go below 640.
Right.
They won't. Well, VA doesn't actually have a minimum credit score.
What?
There are loans, and a similar situation is said for debt to income ratio. A lot of lenders will not exceed 50%. They prefer 45 to 47%. Again, VA does not have a maximum or minimum debt to income ratio. It's all based on what automated underwriting dictates. Okay. So again, that's an investor overlay. If I've set my limits to 640 and my maximum debt to income ratio at 50, that's an investor overlay because VA doesn't have that requirement. I'd mentioned this. I closed the loan not last month, but the month before. The borrower had a 579 and their debt to income ratio was 64%. It was a hiccup on their credit, which they had addressed. And it was the way technically VA looks at it is it's residual income. How much money do I have left over after I pay all of my debts?
Right.
That's where VA steps in and says, okay, look, I need you to have at least $600 to $800, whatever, depending on, it's on a case by case basis. I need
Right.
you to have this at the end of the day to pay for other things that you need. Well, this particular gentleman had money. He had something like $2,000 residual income. He just had a low credit score and
Right.
he had some debt. So ran it through the automated underwriting system. It gave me an approved eligible. Guess what? I give my underwriter exactly what they asked for based on what that underwriting system has told me, and we closed the loan. Another one is VA removed the loan limit. It used to be based on your county loan
Yes.
limit. VA got rid of that. We closed the loan out of our Hawaii branch, 2.2 million. No money down, one loan. It just happens to be a retired, was he a retired colonel for the military? He retired there, and he got a 2.2 million loan. We have investors that will take us up to 4 million, but technically, there's no loan limit.
I mean, you guys, if you're hearing this right now and you are a veteran, and again, thank you guys for your service. Those of you that are veterans that are watching this video or listening to this, take advantage of the benefits that are offered you, right? Johnny is sharing this information. He's sharing, you can see his passion in regards to this. Veterans United, right?
Yeah, no.
Scratch that.
Veterans Mortgage Source.
Veterans
VMS.
Mortgage Source. Veterans
Correct.
Mortgage Source. You guys, listen. This is information for that as a real estate agent. I am so blessed to hear. And I'm so blessed to be a part of this because it is my way of educating myself in order to help you to get what you need, right? And Johnny is sharing this information, and he is, again, passionate about this. I mean, if I went to this lunch and learn with Johnny and his organization, oh my gosh, it's just the information and the content was wonderful. The care of which they explain, as you can see, explain what is necessary in order to get the job done for veterans is just bar none. And Johnny, I appreciate and thank you so much for taking this time to be able to give this information. Is there any other information that you think that would be pertinent or important for veterans to know as far as the lending perspective?
Absolutely. There is one area, and you mentioned it at the beginning, and
Yes.
I got off, like I said,
oh, it's
go
okay.
on sometimes, and the time you have to rein me back in. But it is the combined entitlement.
Yes. How could I forget this?
This is another game changer for those who are looking to, start building wealth. Beginning of 2020, I think it was, maybe even before. I'd have to find out what the exact date is, but the important matter is that it used to be you could only do the veteran and the veteran spouse. VA changed that, and now they are authorizing 2 veterans unmarried that can share portions of their entitlement to buy, and honestly, we call it what it is. It's an investment property, a multi-family unit up to 4 units. The caveat is one of the veterans has to live in one of those units. But back to that no loan amount, we're talking about you can buy a 4-plex in Scottsdale where they could be $2 or $3 million. 2 veterans can come together, combined entitlement, as long as one lives in one of those units, they can rent out the others. Now, we know what rent rates are right now.
Yes.
$2 million is going to be about $12,000 maybe. You can rent those out for $2,000 a piece.
Yes.
$3,000
especially now. Absolutely.
Exactly. You've covered the cost. You've covered your rent, and you have an investment property.
That is just, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. That definitely is worth. I'm like, you're spilling all the tea today. Thank you, Johnny. As I take my sip, but I really appreciate. Oh my gosh, if you want to know more, because we just scratched the surface of things, and of course, this is by individual, case by case scenarios, of course. But here's the thing: you have the opportunity before you now. It's not like you don't know, right? So I'm going to make sure that I post Johnny's information down below in the comments, and you guys reach out to him. Reach out. As a matter of fact, share your information right quick so that they'll have it.
Yes, Veterans Mortgage Source. Again, we are located, our particular branch is located Scottsdale and Camelback Roads. We're right above Culinary Dropout in the office building next to it. My phone number is 480-691-2314. That's my office line, but it comes directly to me at any time. My email address is johnny.hamilton at V as in Victory, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, loans, plural.com.
Awesome, awesome. All right, again, we're gonna have you back. We're gonna talk some more, and we'll get into some specifics. But guys, it's not about that you don't know now. You know now. Now you're armed. Go and reach out to Johnny. Let him go ahead and assist you. Reach out to me if you're looking to buy or sell or invest as well. And also, if you're even looking to be prepared for that journey of real estate, reach out to me, and my contact information will be below as well. Thank you again, Johnny, for the opportunity. Love you.
Love you too.
Let's get this party started.
My pleasure. One last thing I want to pop in there real quick. We
Yeah.
do that lunch and learn. We're doing it once a month. It's usually around the third week of each month. So I'll be posting those flyers out, and I'll pop those on to my Operation VA Loans Facebook page.
Yes.
And extend it over to you too.
Absolutely. And I will be sharing. Also, that's for realtors too. Come on, realtors.
Yep.
Let's
100%.
get educated. Let's get informed. Let's make some changes in this industry, and let's get people, especially veterans, into
Amen.
these homes that they deserve.
Help
All right. So thank you. So we'll be talking to you later, guys. Stay tuned for the next video coming up. I promise to educate, empower, inspire you guys to live your best life in the area of real estate. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.